We're now going to have a live guest on the show. Patrick, how are we doing today?
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh, it's so good to hear him live. Like I cannot. I'm not gonna get like I don't want to get emotional because it's like why get emotional? But it's just like it's so cool.
Are you crying?
Dude? The show has gotten so much better, and we're actually having Patrick in this moment with us. So really excited. You might know Patrick. For those of you watching live right now or watching on the rewind, you might know him from his previous work with StarWarsNewsNet.com. He's the former host of the Resistance broadcast. Took some time away from. I don't want to say Star Wars, but you kind of took some time away from pop culture and online participation, and now we're coming back. Now we're like ready to go. You know, we had to get work stuff figured out, and now you're back, and you're joining us.
Jedi Master in exile, returning.
Oh yeah, you were like Luke Skywalker in a way, in isolation, and now you've returned. Well, I really appreciate it, and the guy's ready. He's got the hat, he's got the set. Like he's a pro. Look at that mic, perfectly positioned. I'm making jokes because I really shouldn't though, because I kind of want to just dive right into this conversation because we have a lot to get to. And first, I'm just really excited to hear about your take on. You know, we just got done a few minutes ago breaking down that Bob Iger call and how kind of the focus from that was, Deadpool's going to stay rated R, but in the Star Wars world, the focus was on EA, and there was really no mention of Episode 9. And so I want your take, and we've talked about this a little bit before the show, but is this a sign that we're for sure not getting anything on this movie until April? And I feel bad too. Those leaks that you just mentioned, Patrick, those watching live right now or on the rewind, that's what I cut from the show because, again, I just wasn't sure. You can pretty much bank that they're accurate. I don't want to ruin anyone's experience going into that Episode 9. So it is available out there. I mean, it's very easy to find. We'll also include links in the description after the show ends. So that way, if you do want to go and find those images, you can. Patrick, if there's a chance that we don't, let's just say, to keep this easy, if we don't find out about the title of Star Wars Episode 9 until Star Wars Celebration, until that April 9th phone call, or April 11th phone call, how soon does this marketing campaign ramp up for Episode 9? Because we've talked about it where you don't need a year to promote Star Wars. Once you get it out there, the world's going to know. They don't need the Super Bowl to promote the movie because Star Wars can literally shut the internet down with the drop of a name title and some 30 seconds of footage. So do you see is the trailer also released at Star Wars Celebration if the name drops? Do they wait to drop the title with the trailer when it drops? The Vanity Fair spread, you just keep going on and on. Like when do you think we hit these major events with the marketing for this movie? I'm really fascinated to see how this plays out because, what we always joke about is the 37 TV spots you get after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. It's like every 5 minutes you get a new TV spot, and they're just chucking them at you, and it's kind of overwhelming. But it proved effective for The Force Awakens. But something also that we have talked about is you can't market this movie like The Last Jedi. It kind of needs to be more like the marketing plan for The Force Awakens in the sense that now it's not reminding everyone that we're returning to the Star Wars galaxy. This is the last time we're going to see these characters, potentially. This is because the end of the Skywalker saga. So do you think it will be will its aggressiveness be more similar to The Force Awakens as compared to what we saw with The Last Jedi? Awesome.
Patrick, what do you think about Disney's storytelling focus starting to shift towards streaming? Do you think that's going to have a large impact?
Wonderful. Any bet though? How much are we gonna have to pay for Disney Plus? What do you think, Patrick?
Mm-hmm.
See, but $9 on top of Netflix, on top of Hulu, on top of Amazon Prime, on top of DC streaming service. You know, these things start to add up, and that price. I mean, if it fluctuates, I wouldn't be surprised if they'll have to fluctuate it in a downward direction, just because we're now getting to the point where cutting the cord is as expensive, or for some, will be more expensive than just having regular cable. Do you have a take on that? You know, let's switch over to comics now. And I love what you said about that. I don't want to get too into it. Of course, we know the Mandalorian, Cassian, Clone Wars. All right. Well, we should ask this: what is the next project before we go on to comics? What is the next property we'll get Star Wars related on the streaming service? What do you want the most? Well, I'll make it easier. Correct me if I'm wrong. Acolytes of the Sith, isn't that the group that we're introduced to in the Chuck Wendig Aftermath series?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, and Patrick's right. I mean, it's like a gold mine. So, I mean, I was like, yes, I'm excited for The Mandalorian, but when they were like, this is taking place in this timeline, I mean, that was almost me flatlining then because it's like, this is one of my favorite, points in the history of the lore and everything because it's like it's so much going on.
And that's, I guess, why I bring up the Acolytes is because, you know, there are theories going around about how the Knights of Ren have been on this mission for Kylo and they're coming back. And it'd be interesting if there's like some kind of like tie there. And that'd be kind of a fun story to explore on the streaming service as well as Obi-Wan. But let's transition now to comic books because, Patrick, you love comic books just as much as I do, maybe even more. And we've talked quite a bit about the Age of Republic, the Anakin single shot today, but so far, not one of these Age of Republic single shots has missed. What's your take on this series so far as in the next couple of weeks we'll transition into this Age of Rebellion? Is this Maxi series taking these quick looks at the different time periods on the canon line? Is it working for you? If so, if not, why? That and I think Dooku sells, and I think why I like the character so much more because I was not a fan of Dooku during the time of release of Attack of the Clones and Revenge, because I was all about why would you get rid of Darth Maul. Now, of course, we've learned Lucas regrets getting rid of Maul, but Dooku's actually an incredible villain, and I think Clone Wars really smoothed him out for me. I really liked the exploration of him. He had his own castle. He had his own dealings behind the Emperor's back. So I really like that character. I don't know if I'd want a Dooku book, but I'm down for the comic, and especially just because seeing that frame of Dooku as a Jedi, and we're gonna get that in the comic book that comes out next week, or maybe it's a flashback, but just Dooku with a blue lightsaber, like that's cool, and I want to explore that. And yeah, I'm really excited for that. I think they've all hit. Jesse, you're not as big of a comic book reader, but do you have a question to throw at Patrick about this current run? Maybe something that you think could have been held differently?
I mean, is there like a particular character that aside from Dooku, that you'd like want to see more of? I mean, I really enjoyed the Darth Maul one they did. Even the Obi-Wan one that we had with the that little side adventure that he took Anakin with. Like you mentioned, these little side stories and snippets. In particular, what comes to mind is in Attack of Clones. They're talking about falling into that pit of Gundarks and everything. Moments like that. Would you like to see like stories more based on that? Those kind of adventures. Maybe not just strictly Obi-Wan, but more of these side roles like Captain Panaka or something, or. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we brag about Charles Soule's Darth Vader all the time, but he actually wrote that Obi-Wan Anakin miniseries you mentioned, and it's incredible storytelling, and it's a great insight into the development of Anakin, but also the development of Obi-Wan Kenobi as a master. We see in this issue we talked about. He wasn't expecting to be a master so young. He was doing this as a promise to Qui-Gon Jinn on his deathbed, so to say, and to think that Anakin almost didn't go on his first mission because Obi-Wan didn't think he was ready. But then you see that panel of Anakin sitting there with kids half his age. It's just like it put a lot of things in perspective for me, I think, when I think about especially Obi-Wan as a young master. All right, well, Patrick, the last thing that we have to ask you, and it's toy related. Do you want to ask him?
Yeah, and toys have been kind of a hot topic recently, and everything. Do you have like a favorite Star Wars toy in your collection, or a toy that you're still hunting for?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I remember this contest, Patrick. I was like, oh, that's just awesome. And Stephen Stanton, he's so cool to talk to anyway on Twitter. Anyway, so like,
Admiral Radish.
gosh,
Well, Well, that's awesome. Hey, Patrick, I just really appreciate, and I think we all appreciate you being the guinea pig, being the first live interview here for Beyond the Blast Doors on the live show. And it's been a real treat. Anything that we haven't mentioned that you want to throw out there? Absolutely.
Definitely.
I think the
Definitely.
invite is always there, my friend. Thank you so much. Patric Covey. He is the best, and I think that he's got a few tricks up his sleeves for the Star Wars community in the next few months as we rapidly approach Star Wars Celebration in Chicago this April. Patrick, thank you again, bud.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you for watching Beyond the Blast Doors. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. Beyond the Blast Doors, a Star Wars conversation.